All right, ready to roll?
Yep.
All right, so if you're just tuning in currently for the first time today, this is part 2 of 2, as we normally do. And we left off the previous video discussing a rather motivating viewer comment from Furzy09. So if you were just seeing this for the first time and want to catch the run-in to this part, or part 2, then just hit stop here and go to our channel and look for the part 1 that was downloaded just prior to this. So we just left off discussing, actually wait a minute, time out. I gotta stop myself. I'm pushing myself. I always promise myself, in case someone is watching this for the first time, even if it's a part 2, that thank all of you for number 1, even tuning in, right? Number 2, thank you for being a tennis fan, and thank you for attempting to share the game with others. We very much appreciate it. So I'm gonna start there. So again, thanks to all of you. As we left off, we were discussing whether or not it was okay or not okay, or pros and cons of dragging your foot when you serve.
Right.
Okay? Foot dragging. Check out the first video towards the end. 2, hitting forehands open or closed. Right?
Sure.
Furzy09 brought this up, and he also came in and brought up a topic which we're going to discuss a lot. Okay? That topic is, what do we think about young tennis players or even older tennis players that begin to learn with foamy balls,
You want me to read it? Or?
pressureless balls, etc.? Yeah, read it.
What do you think of coaching softer balls? Federer developed his technique playing squash with his dad as a kid. Lower balls, lighter rackets. Think beginners, kids up to 12 should play touch tennis. The European softball game. Maybe start with a two-handed backhand that does not stress just one arm, then later learn a one-handed backhand for stretch shots and low balls. The future is a player that can use both two-handed backhands for returns and high balls and one-handed for lows and stretch defense shots.
You might have to speak a little louder.
I'm sure they can hear me. He always says that in every video that I watch. It's perfectly loud. Why are you looking at me that way? There's no win.
Okay, no, time out.
There's no win today.
No. She comes out in the first video dragging, and I'm having to, like, let's go.
I'm not dragging.
Oh, you were dragging it. Tell me she wasn't dragging it.
There is no win.
Okay.
Not one bit of win.
Okay.
You're telling me to speak up.
Okay, in the first video at the beginning, was she not dragging?
No.
Oh, she was dragging.
I think you just enjoy saying you need to speak up. What you say? You need to speak up, or you're like. So I'm like, which one is it?
Well, when I do that, that means we have to speed it up.
Oh my gosh.
So speed up. I guess it could be.
What do I think about with the softer balls? It's okay if you're starting someone that's 2 or 3 with a softball. Even though we didn't start little Justin with softballs. We feed him regular balls.
Yeah, and remember, we have 5, 16, 14, 9, 6, and 2. I started at 2. She started, I think,
10,
at
11.
10,
I was
11.
11, yeah.
Her brother started at
6, and he did regular balls with a wooden racket.
Okay, but finish, because I have a lot to say.
Well, you can start him out as 2, 3 with softballs just to get him, interested in the game. My daughter, the 9-year-old, she started tennis at 6, and she trained with regular balls, but when she played tournaments, she had to do the red ball, which she hated, and the orange balls, which she found very boring. I'm against that, completely against it. I think if the Martinas, if the Chris Everts, if the Djokovic, Nadals, they trained with regular balls, why can't we do it with this generation that's stronger, bigger, and technology is a lot better? As far as Federer playing with squash, I mean, it's good to do any other sport with a smaller ball. I played a lot of ping pong. A lot of beach. I would use those foamy balls for beach tennis, I guess.
Paddleball, I think.
Paddleball, I think it's called. Yeah. I think it's great if you want to get a kid to be rallying back and forth, but you should start him off with green balls. I mean, they're strong enough to do it.
He wants to make a cameo.
Well, he doesn't. I mean, I'll talk about later with the two-handed, one-handed. But as far as the softer balls, I just think it's more marketing for people to spend more money on the red balls, and then on the orange balls, and then on the green balls with the dot. I mean, a lot of these tournaments don't fill up. One, two, I think it just makes it boring for some of the kids to make the court smaller. I don't agree with that. I mean, I don't know what else. I've never been for this. It's not even huge here.
All right.
A lot of this stuff doesn't even get used.
All right, I'm going to weigh in on this. Ready? I'm going to weigh in on this. I'm going to speak from my own experience with foamy balls from a coaching perspective, from a player's perspective, and from a lot of time around this type of developmental tennis per se. Number one, we call that Furzy 09 10 and under tennis here. I'm sure it's the same worldwide, but the vernacular that we use for foamy balls and short courts and so forth is called 10 and under tennis. Personally, not a fan whatsoever. I have coached it at camps. I have coached it in lessons, not because I wanted to, but because of my job description as being an assistant pro somewhere. That was what I was told to do. So I learned it and I coached it. Not a problem. Enjoyed doing it. Loved meeting the kids. It was a wonderful thing. At the same time, if I was the head pro, well, maybe, I mean, if I had the USTA backing, I mean, I have to be careful and choose my battles humbly and professionally. But when I would bring a group of 10 kids or 4 kids and another coach with 4 kids, and we had a whole court full of foam balls, it was a circus. And yes, we would keep them in check. And yes, we would keep them from throwing water on one another and throwing their rackets like frisbees and everything else. But when it boils down to when you finally get 5 minutes of their attention for the hour that is spent trying to get these kids motivated, and they hit a foamy ball, they hit the foamy ball, and then it turns into like, and I'm not saying this happens all the time, and maybe I was just a naive coach at that point in time and could have coached better, but I know hundreds, if not thousands, of coaches who share the same thoughts I do. You get a little net out here that's 3 feet tall. You get 2 kids on one side, 5 feet from each other with these big balls. It turns into a pitter-pat contest. And what are we developing? Are we delaying the inevitable that one day they're going to have to strike a tennis ball? So why not absorb the mind earlier? Why not absorb the mind earlier for the quicker hand-eye coordination, the quicker adaptation to spin, the quicker adaptation to stroke production? The kids soak this stuff up at an early age. So why would I want my 2-year-old, 4-year-old, 9-year-old, whatever, why would I want them to soak up a slower version of inevitably what I want them to play? And let's use a musical instrument. I've been playing the guitar and I've been practicing a little bit, and I still suck badly. Now, so I have a 14-year-old that's been playing for a couple of days, and he can already play a song. So what I'm getting at is why would I want to interrupt the cognitive development of my 2-year-old, 4-year-old, 8-year-old with a foamy badminton / circus cotton candy ball when I can just go ahead and get them ready for it? My 2-year-old, and there's videos, check the history or however you get there, but my 2-year-old goes out and he picks up balls and he hits it with a regular ball, with a little tiny baby racket, no problem. So why do I want to step him back in time? Now, with that said, I don't let any of my kids under 10 play tennis tournaments because they are pushed and forced to play with these foamy balls or orange balls.
Well, now it's 12. They made a rule where it's 12 and under.
So we played a lot of tournaments the past few summers with all of our children. We stopped doing that, and I'm not pressing anyone's buttons, but this is how debatable this is for me, because as much as I love to take my tournaments or my kids to tournaments, even though they're ridiculously expensive these days for entry fees, and luckily we have help with that from a family member.
But here, Justin, they charge for these red and orange ball tournaments the same price as the green ball, the regular ball tournament, and then you have maybe 2 kids or 4 kids that join the tournament. Well, that's a waste of money. They're not getting any match experience like that.
Yeah. So furthermore, tournaments are ridiculously expensive, and it wasn't for some assistance from my father. For entry fees, we wouldn't play any at all, less my boys' high school tournaments, because they've gotten so expensive. He feels that they need the exposure and the flavor for tournaments. That's great. But after we have spent 4 years, or 3.5 at this point, training every day with the yellow ball, with my 6-year-old who is now 9, now I have to pay $100 for an entry fee for her. to get put on a short court with orange balls.
Well, she got promoted to the green ball with a dot, which is just basically a dead ball.
It's a dead ball.
Yeah.
It's a practice ball with a green dot. I mean, in my opinion, these balls were at the factory. They missed their injection of PSI air. It ends up with a green dot on it and tossed in a practice thing. And the loss of revenue by the manufacturers therefore pushed off and painted a red line on it or an orange line on it and whatever. I think it's a waste of time. I really, really, really think it's a waste of time. However, if I was backed by the USTA, I might not say anything. But even then, I know USTA coaches off the record that think it's bogus.
Well, there's some of them that I know that teach it, but
Bogus.
they have their own kids and they don't go that route.
So
that says a lot.
Yeah.
Right
So in my best interest, is it best for me? I'm going to use my 9-year-old girl as an example. We've been training her since she was 6. She can go out and rip a one-handed backhand. She can hit ground strokes open, close. She still's a little suspect on her serve. She can hit volleys. She's developing. So now if I want her to play a tournament, I got to go put her in a green dot tournament.
And again, it's like 2 or 3 people that join the tournament, maybe more
Look,
in Florida
look,
or some other
look.
states. But it's just, I've seen some European kids though hit with these balls, and they hit the ball hard, at the smaller courts. Well, my thinking is, if they can do that there, why couldn't they do that at the baseline? They have nice strokes. They can do the same thing at the baseline.
Look, I'm not paying $100 for a tournament where I got to go watch my kid hit a pressureless ball. I can do that with a bucket. I've got, again, 1,500 balls under the house, and 80% of them are so dead. They're like beat up with holes in them. That's all my kid's going to go hit at a tournament, and I got to go drive to a... I'm not going to get into all that. But I personally think it's a waste of time. Please comment on that. But I coached
And I know
it.
There's some pros that are for it, but they
There
didn't
are.
train that way. They're just
There are.
trying to promote
There-
it.
okay,
They
yeah.
asked them to promote it, so they say it.
Yeah, there's pros all over the place that I've met that will, in a professional setting, oh yeah, that's a great thing, but in a closed setting, they'll say, man, I'd be fired if I didn't say that. Okay? So all I'm telling you is be careful what you read, be careful what you buy into, because most of it's just an excuse to try to get around hard work. And I don't care if you're playing the guitar, the piano, the violin, the harpsichord, whatever it may be, the trumpet. The list goes on. I don't care what you're trying to do. You're not going to do it more quickly unless you just practice more. So the orange balls, the foamy balls, take it. I'm not going to use it, not saying
And
it's
they
right
don't
or wrong.
last long. They don't last long. Those balls, I bought them one time for Lily because she had a tournament and she wasn't used to playing with the orange balls. They would go out on her. So
Yeah.
I mean, they don't last long.
Yeah.
They're expensive and they don't last long.
Don't like it.
And then
Well, one more thing. Now, insofar as his comment where Federer started with like light balls or squash courts, whatever, go play racquetball, go play beach paddle ball, whatever. But I don't need pickleballs on the tennis court. That's all I'm saying. Go play as many sports as you want, but I don't see the need to put a ping pong ball on a tennis court. All right, so go ahead.
Then
Yeah,
we're going
one-handed and two-handed.
Right. He says something about maybe to start.
Let's go first, Joe.
Maybe start out with a two-handed and then change to one-handed. I don't agree with this either. Firstly, Sampras had a two-handed and then changed to one-handed backhand, which took him a long time. He lost a lot of matches as a junior because he had to change to one. His coach wanted him to change to one-handed. I proved it myself from having my own child that they can learn with a one-handed backhand to begin with. Gabby was 5 when she started with a one-handed. She can hit it. She has the strength to hit it over. I mean, no problem, just like a two-handed. Lily, same thing. She can hit a one-handed.
Yeah, just so you don't have to say each one of them. All 5 of our kids. Again, we have 5 children.
But I'm just saying because of
all
their
them.
age.
Even the youngest one at 2, when we feed him balls, not foamy balls, we feed him regular tennis balls. Now he comes up and strikes and misses half the time, but he does hit it. And when he hits it, he knows to go get his racket, and still he has no balancing arm yet, but he goes and hits it. And then when he knows he has a backhand, he goes and he hits it. I started with the one-handed backhand at 2. Now, yes, is it if you're trying to go down the line or something, or trying to rip one, is it better to have a second hand on it? Yes. Do I think it's an excuse? Kind of here, a little bit, but I think what Ferzio 9 is indicating is, wouldn't it be great if you could hit a one and a two-handed?
It would be,
and I think that's awesome. But I think the overall ugliness of the two-hander, don't care for it. I don't like to coach it. I mean, I'll coach it, but I don't particularly care for the two-hander. It's restricted. It's close in. It's hard to get out there and get something with two hands. And yes, the problem is when the ball comes high. If I'm hitting a one-handed backhand and it's high, hence why Federer has lost to Nadal so much. But I think Federer has begun to adapt by that, by moving back a little bit over there. But nonetheless, the proverbial obstacle of hitting high balls with a one-handed can be overcome with better footwork. Number one, better footwork, catch it earlier. I know it's easier said than done, and most of the time with heavy topspin, you're just backing up more. Get in there earlier and take it off the fly. If you can't, you can throw a slice on it. The only problem with throwing a slice on it, if you're playing a solid player, which on tour everybody is, someone most likely is going to know the angle or the percentage angle, come in behind it, and just drill that ball. So yes, at that point in time, I think it's pertinent to maybe have the ability to hit your one, and then if you get that high ball and you want to come up and go, give it that extra arm, then great. But for me personally, the one-handed versus two, if I had to pick or choose, it would be the one-hander all day. Less footwork, conserving energy throughout a match. I can reach out. If I have to give it a slice, maybe I toss in the lob and give myself time to get centered and neutral. So I can defend against that by smart tennis. The two-hander for me, if I get injured, let's look at Del Potro. Del Potro has a non-playing hand injury. For me, if I as a one-hander, I hurt my left wrist, I'm still in business. Del Potro is out of commission because he's pushing it with his left hand, and unfortunately I like Del Potro a lot, but this is just an example of the unnecessary need for the left hand from an injury standpoint.
That's a good point, Justin.
Do you know what I'm saying?
That's a very good point. I mean, I'm a two-hander. I started with two-handed. My brother started one-handed. I mean, as a two-hander, yes, I feel like I have more power on my shots.
See, I don't.
And I can hit the higher. I've played with both. I'm not confident with the one-hander. I trained a whole year with a one-hander, and when I got to that tournament, I ended up slicing everything. But with the two-hander, I feel like the high balls, I can hit them easily. But where the one-hander has an advantage is if the ball is far away, the one-hander can just stretch out and put it down the line. I saw Wawrinka do it against Nadal last night. So I'm not saying one is better than the other.
Yeah.
I think it's what you're most comfortable with. But yes, you can teach a young child, one-handed from the beginning.
Yeah, because I've done it, and all 5 of my kids have done it, and there's many more that have done it. Anyway, really mind-working comment from Furzy09. I knew it would be. We're going to move forward, though. And again, please read his comments because I feel like we're missing some of it. And we're already at 20 minutes on our next video.
Okay,
and I've got 3 pages to go.
Okay, well, let's get to the next one.
All right, so we're moving forward. Furzy09. Oh, God, let's go. All right, so the next comment comes from Wayne M. Chia. Let's roll.
He says, first of all, thank you, Wayne M. Chia, for the happy birthday. He says, Nadal took such a short holiday after Wemby. That's dedication. Learn from him, Dimitrov, and especially Sock. Very true. I mean, as a tennis player, if you're a top tennis player, let's be real. You got to make you got to work hard to be the best. You can't be taking vacation. You can take vacation when you retire.
You got to work.
And you can retire in your early 30s.
Yeah.
So, I mean, great example that I heard Sock complaining about. He couldn't take vacation. Well, that's why you suck.
Yeah, exactly. So here's the thing. We just Wayne M. Chia mentioned this yesterday. We heard this comment from another journalist or whatever. So Wayne M. Chia brought this up yesterday, and I read this today, which is why we were bringing this up. So Wayne M. Chia beat the other media sources. Good job, Wayne. Let's go. And that Jack Sock was complaining that the reason why, I guess, or using one of the excuses why he's not doing so well this year in comparison to last year, which he only had a good end of the year last year, honestly. Anyway, because he didn't get a chance to take a break. Now, if you want to be great, you can't take a break. And maybe when you're number 1 in the world and you have 17 or 20 majors, you can pick or choose. But right now, you're complaining you can't take a vacation. Come on, man.
Big whiner.
I'm not even going to waste my time with this comment. Not with Wayne M. Chia's comment, but with Sock's comment. That because Wayne M. Chia has an awesome comment, but Jack Sock's comment, oh, I'm not playing so well because Come on, man. Stick with doubles, dude. I want to hear that stuff, man. Jack Sock lost to Medvedev. Medvedev's a strong upcoming player, but for someone who made the ATP finals last year, which I thought was hocus pocus in of itself, what? Jack Sock, top 10 in the world? I think he's top 100 at best. Anyway.
Well, let's go to the next comment.
Kiyosama, let's roll.
He also says, Justin, let's go. It's energizing, but your grunting is hilarious.
We're going to make this a show.
And then Kaya says, happy birthday. Thank you very much. Kaya says that she's a Djokovic fan and that she's, I guess I'm going to read this one fully because I should.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I'm a Djokovic fan. Looks like my gut feeling won out again. He lost to Tsistipas. Unfortunately, my streaming here sucks. She mentions that there's something off about Novak in this tournament. Maybe he's trying to strategize and focus on Cincinnati. Applauds for the Greek. And that match is not to be ignored. I'm just trying to cut a little bit.
Yeah, so she has Kia-sama always brings some really deep, good comments. Check it out on the last video and in its entirety. She brings up something I want to discuss real fast. We recorded the last show while Tiafoe was playing, and we mentioned.
But this one was not Tiafoe, babe.
No, she mentions it though, and we're gonna get to a
that's
time
later
constraint.
on. Yes.
Okay, well go ahead.
This is about Djokovic losing to Tsitsipas. Yes, he lost. He lost. Yes.
Finish the comment. Finish the comment.
I'm done with that comment.
Okay. So with the Tsistipas match with Djokovic, I don't take anything more away from that match than it's a good win for Tsistipas, a great confidence win for Tsistipas. For Djokovic, I still am not changed in my mindset that he wins the U.S. Open. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think that you can take anything away from Djokovic in this match.
No,
I mean,
you can't.
it's just. I mean, he even said himself, "Great match for Tsitsipas. He won. He deserves it. I didn't play well, and that's okay." I mean, these guys don't have to win these tournaments.
So
great confidence match for Tsitsipas.
Yeah, great confidence match for Tsistipas. Tsistipas is looking really good. He still does have weaknesses in his game, particularly on the backhand side, but he was consistent with it against Djokovic, and it won him the match.
Yeah, definitely.
A lot of one-handers down the line that look good. So go on to the Tiafoe one. We're gonna go to part 3, I'm sure.
Well, AJ Malfoy says, "Are we a Djokovic fan?" He says that he doesn't think Djokovic should play doubles. That he's probably spending too much energy.
I agree with him on that.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think he's wasting time too. I don't know why he's doing that.
Yeah, maybe he's working on serving volleying with his coach, and maybe the coaching player perspective is you'll get some good net play. At the same time, I mean, I think he's still trying to get 100% healthy. I still think Djokovic is only at about 85%.
Well, he says he thinks he was at 50-55, something like that.
So all I'm getting at is I would have to say that I'm right there with Malfoy on this one. I don't see why he's playing it. I think he should spend more time maybe chilling in a hot tub or ice or whatever it is, just to make sure he's ready for the U.S. Open. Sure, get some match practice in the singles. The loss against Tsistipas, no biggie. At that point, I think we need to put some extra effort into doubles simply to stay fresher. But again, I would rather he not played to start the tournament, but now that he's lost a singles match, maybe it's good that he is playing doubles, just to stay more match ready.
Well, we only have 2 more comments left.
All right, let's go.
This one is the long one from Kia.
Well, no, that was about Kia.
No, this is the one where she mentions Tiafoe.
Okay, there you go.
She says, let us know when you're dropping the single. She says, I heard you guys dismissing Tiafoe, but, he says... I'm sorry. I think Tiafoe must have heard you guys sort of dismissing him the other day because he's doing quite well so far. What do you think of his performance, and how do you see him against Dimitrov? Good to see Stan Mann gaining confidence. Let's hope he doesn't meet Djokovic because that's not good for his draw. Thiem's out and no rush to much conclusion. He might end up being a late bloomer. Zverev already surpassing him as Stan. And then she mentions the Serena issue, that postpartum can last a long time. She's seen it at maternity wards. I mean, I have to respect her opinion on that because obviously she's in medicine.
All right, so on the last show we had discussed Serena Williams, and Carla mentioned that the postpartum thing was maybe too much of an excuse this far in. First of all, with Kia-sama being in this field, we must stick with her because we have zero credibility for that.
Yes.
So we're going to retract that statement and go with Kia here. That's what I call a deep factual correction from sheer experience and dedication. So absolutely thank you, Kia, for that. That's superb, and thank you to all your assistants for the mothers out there that you have done, because to me that's more important than any of this.
Yeah.
First and foremost.
Yeah.
So that's wicked awesome. Two, the Tiafoe comment. We were doing the last show right during the Tiafoe match when he was playing Raonic, however. And Tiafoe won that match. Therefore, Kia came in and said, "Oh, I guess he heard you and did well." Well, the only problem with that is, yes, he did well, and then she left the comment directly after. But
How do you think about Dimitrov? Yeah.
but the following day, he lost to Dimitrov.
Yeah.
So Tsitsipas played some great players tight. Federer, Nadal, he's played a lot of tight matches with a lot of people and has been close to winning some. So he won one against Raonic, who's still a recovering injured player himself. That's not super fresh and not even, I don't think, going to be on my U.S. Open team.
No, he won't be mine.
And he beats him, a questionable Raonic, I think, at best, which I think Raonic, even super healthy, is still questionable, kind of like an Isner. But nonetheless, he lost to Dimitrov, who I think is suspect, and cost me my fantasy team at Wimbledon. So for me, that just reiterates the fact that I can't say, let's go, Tiafoe,
But he's
go.
doing. I think
He's doing better.
I think he'll do better than Isner, in my opinion.
Yeah, he'll be better than Isner, I think, yes. But how really good is Isner?
Yeah.
All right, so in terms of when am I going to drop the single, Kiyosama, this was a comment that Wayne Chia had. He made this beautiful quote. It should be like in a historical quote book. So if we die in like 100 years or 50 years and we look back in time and see a quote, he said, "Your show is a balm for my daily bumps," and I tried to make a song out of it, but I'm really terrible on the guitar. So if I ever learn it, which I will try to do, then I'll do Wayne Chia's song, "Your show is a balm for my daily bumps," for Kiyosama.
Mm-hmm. Well, she makes a comment also about Wawrinka. Good to see him. He's actually doing pretty well.
Wawrinka looked good last night.
He looked good. I mean, he's
7-6, 7-5 to the best player in the world now.
He's getting there, and actually, he's going to be like my unseeded player.
Let's go, Wawrinka. Let's go.
And she also mentioned she doesn't like seeing Djokovic play doubles. I agree with her. He's
Yeah,
wasting a lot of energy.
A suspect there, but again, maybe it's good now, so he stays match fresh. At least keeping his reflexes going at the net. You know what I'm saying? It's important to have some matches now that he's out of the singles draw. Maybe it's good he still has some doubles, right? Maybe it's good.
Maybe. Well, we got one more comment, and that's AJ Malfoy. He said on Twitter people were annoyed that Djokovic was put on center court instead of Zverev. I don't know why they were annoyed. Djokovic has 13 Grand Slams. They should put him on main court. Zverev has yet to prove himself.
Yeah, so she's saying that Djokovic was the center court match.
Well, AJ was saying that.
AJ was reading, Carla was reading AJ's comment where Djokovic was put on center court as the center court match yesterday, and Zverev, Sasha or Alexander, was put on a secondary court. Why wouldn't they do that? I mean, I get Zverev won the tournament last year. Did Djokovic even play it? Wasn't he injured? Maybe he played it, but I don't recall. But Djokovic has won 13 majors. Of course you're gonna.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Great comment. Great comment. Who left that comment? That was Malfoy.
AJ Malfoy.
All right, so great comment there because I mean I don't if someone's gonna gripe about that, I don't know where they're. I mean I get the young kid needs to have the limelight, but you're talking about a 13-time Grand Slam winner that kids are gonna have their parents just. I have to go
there.
They
didn't play last year. They want to see him.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if I had a chance right now in my life, I mean, I've seen Djokovic play. I've never seen Zverev play, but if I had a chance tomorrow to go watch Djokovic play or Zverev play, I'd still go see Djokovic.
Same here. Yeah.
I mean, it's a no-brainer. All right. So anyway, great comment. But the comment of the day that took up almost 2 entire shows goes to Furzy09. Wow. He brought dragging foot, which translated into the open and close stance on the serve. He brought foamy balls. He brought one-handed and two-handed backhands. How much time we got?
28 minutes.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to go to part 3. So Furzy09 really brought a whole lot today. So he's getting the comment of the day. There's really a lot of good stuff here, but Furzy09 gets the standing O here. Never in our life have we gone 3 shows. Never in our life. This is a first time thing. So Furzy09, we're blaming you.
Yes.
So Furzy09, you get the comment of the day. However, you also get big ups for going part 3. Let's go. Let's go. Fifth set coming up.
Oh, no wonder we're all both sweating.
Fifth set coming
up. That's why,
up.
because it's a 5th set.
5th set.
All right, let's go.
5th set. Let's go, Furzy09. All right, we're going to do a 5th set. We're at 28 minutes. We're going into part 3. We still have results to do and an ending topic that we're going to brush through to get you commenting. Part 3 coming up immediately. Share it, like it, subscribe to it, and Carla always says,
adios.
And I always say, let's go, 5th set. Let's go.